G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke, here you go.
G'day guys, today on the video we're going to be dealing with some flat cuts. Going to be drinking a beer or two, having a bit of fun here on the weekend. And we're having a beer and working with power tools. You beauty. So the idea with a flat cut is when you collect it or when you let it grow really big trying to develop a trunk, when you want to create taper or a different direction in your apex or branches, you cut it and then you end up with a flat cut. So I think you guys all know what I mean about a flat cut. So here we're going to do two different ways of dealing with a flat cut and three different ways of preserving or finishing off a flat cut. So one will be leaving it natural, two will be a stain, wood stain that sort of preserves it, and three will be super glue. So three different ways of dealing with it, and there'll be two different ways of dealing with the flat cut. One is to hollow it out and create a hollow, and two is to create a bit of a feature out of that bit of wood. I will say for softwood trees, a hollow is better than creating a feature out of the wood because a feature won't, last for too long. But that said, if you use the super glue method, you could probably actually keep softwood for a fair while if you wanted to. But anyway, it's up to you. I'm going to show you both methods, hollowing it out or creating a feature. So we got a prunus, crappy prunus here. We got a Hawthorne forest with the main tree needing something done to the trunk, and we've also got a Turkish oak that I've had for many years. I don't think I've shown this one a lot. It's just a quiet achiever, really nice tree, beautiful bark. I used to grow it in the ground and then I've collected it. And when I collected it, I had trunk chopped it and the new lead is grown and stuff, but I've neglected to get in there and deal with the flat cut. I still haven't done it. So we're going to do that today. And I will say, normally you deal with a flat cut at this early stage like these two, where you can really get to it, it's easy to get to, no risk to the branches, but this one here is a bit late, but we're still going to get in there and see how we go. So, the tools that I'm going to use is a die grinder and a mini die grinder, or, just a rotary tool. Mainly using the bigger one, but you can do it all with a small one. It just takes longer and you have to use a smaller bit. So it's the only difference. I'm just doing this to get rid of bulk quicker. So those are two tools. So without any further mucking around, well, hang on, a little bit of mucking around, let's have a beer. Let's start on the trees. So the first one I'll do, because it's first in line, is a prunus. I'll try and bring you guys up close and show you some good detail of this. I hope I can. And let's get carving on that one. So that one's going to be a hollow. Okay guys, so I've got you up pretty close. Let's hope the camera stays focused and all that bizzo. And drag my power cords across, and I hope they are long enough. And let's start dealing with this one. I may have to put on different bits as we go, but we'll just work with it. So let's get into it. So basically what's happened here is I did a flat cut upon collection. This tree's pretty ugly, but maybe one day it could become something, who knows. But for now, let's deal with this. It would be nice to make a bit of a feature out of this, but the truth is this wood is so soft that it's probably not a great idea. So I'm going to take a lot of it away and create a bit of a hollow. And then as the tree calluses over the top, it should create a nice hollow, believable hollow trunk, you know, like some sort of deciduous tree that's snapped off and you can see a big hollow in it. You can see here where it's rolling over with the cambium. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to take a bit out, mark the cambium a bit as well, and create a good hollow. I'm just hoping that this bit is sharp enough, because this bit here is pretty old now. It's come from Bonsai Sensation a few years ago and it's quite blunt, but we're going to give it a go anyway. So let's go for it. Hopefully, like I say, things can stay in focus. Okay, let's get into it. So first we're going to take a lot of bulk away and dig quite deep down in this corner here. Now normally a 6-bladed bit doesn't normally grip so much like that, so I'm going to have to be careful from now on. I was being pretty relaxed, not really holding it tight enough, but you got to really brace yourself on a pot and get in there. But I was just sort of holding it there and it took off and went into the fresh wood. That's okay, but you do that too much and you will end up damaging your tree, so just be careful about that. Now that I know she's going to take off, I'm going to brace a bit more. Okay, let's get into it. You can see it's chucking off a lot of stuff. And my arm here is completely covered. And we're getting a bit of a hole in there, and we got rid of all the old wood, so now the callus can curl over. I'll try and show you an example of one that's a bit further along that I did a long time ago. I do have an almond tree I did this to, and let's bring that in a minute after we've done this one, just to show you, or maybe at the end. I'll do it at the end just to show you what it will roll over like, given time. Okay guys, well, here you can see we've got all that hollowed out. We've got this here tucked in underneath, so now it can callus over the top. Created a nice deep hole here, a little bit of interest here, so this will roll in, this will all roll in. At the back here I've gone down to where all this wood's alive, so the energy from here to here will now help roll this in as well, and that'll roll in and it'll create a nice believable bit. And I'll probably put on another bit here, so we'll put on another bit and then we'll create a deeper hollow here, and I'm happy to let water sit in that hollow and rot the trunk out to create more interest in time. So in time I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to have an exit wound for the water to run out. I'm actually going to leave it to pull up and to naturally rot it out over time. First of all, get a check in my hair. Look at that. Look at this. Messy job, but someone's going to do it. Okay guys, so we got this bit on now. If you think that other bit jumped around on me, you should try these bits. These are just plain router bits from Bunnings. And 6mm shaft router bits, and they seriously pack a punch. And if you don't keep control of these, they'll just take off and shoot across the tree and rip branches off and all sorts. So see how we go. I'm going to try and be really careful. And let's try and get in there and create a bit more of a hollow down deep. And then we'll be done on this tree. Very hard to get in there. I've probably left the branching grow a bit long, really, but let's do it. Okay, that's it. We went as deep as we could. As deep as we could. We went as deep as we could. We're done. I just got to get the air compressor and give it a blowout. So I'm just grabbing the hose now. Bear with me. If you haven't watched my channel before, you'll know I'm disorganised and I don't have the air compressor ready yet. But let's do it. Okay guys, it's just saying we've created a really nice hollow now, quite good taper. I do want to do some more down here. That's very flat still, so let's do a little bit of a hole here. I've put on another bit, a little tiny bit, so we're just going to create a little hole through here, a little. Okay, so now it's not flat down there. It's not, it's got a bit of interest, and that'll still roll over, we hope, and create something old and believable in the end. There's also a hole here that was just flat cut off and it's calloused over, so let's just put a bit of a hole there. And also this hole in the middle is very circular. Okay, you can see it's very circular. So what I want to do now is just create a few ridges on the back there with this thing. So let's do that. Create some interest. So blow it out. Still a bit circular, but I'm struggling to get in that far. Right, that's a bit better. Broken it up a bit. It's probably good enough, and like I say, it's all going to roll in and curl in, so there's no need to do massive detail down in there, because when this all curls in, it'll be dark in there. And this one here we're going to paint with the stones, so as time goes on and it all curls in, it'll just be a big dark hollow. So that'll be that one. Let's move on to the next one. G'day guys, so this is another method. I'm going to create a little bit of a feature out of this one. It's a little bit harder wood. This is a Hawthorne. So let's see how we go. There's a lot of spikes on here, so it's going to be hard to hold and carve, but you can see this flat section here looks pretty ugly. I may need to take a little bit more off, we'll see, but the idea is I'm going to basically shave the bark off the outside around where there's no live vein on the dead side. Okay, shave the bark off, then create some jagged lines along the sides. Get rid of a lot of the bulk in the middle, and then create a few grooves and make a bit of a feature out of it. So let's get into that. Okay guys, now we're going to try and hollow out the middle. I'm going to still use this big bit, but things could get seriously pear-shaped pretty quick, but let's see what happens. Okay, guys, my kid's trying to call me on Facebook. So, we took out a bit of a hollow there. The kid's trying to call me again. I'm going to have to block him. Block him for good. Oh, I just had 2 calls from the kids. They just wanted to say hi. And I just want to get this job done. So let's do it. Jeez, that's an explosion going on in there. That's what I mean. These bits are extremely coarse. You got to be super careful. But anyway, it's probably enough for the big bit actually. And it's created some interest, hollowed it out. Now I just want to get the smaller bit out. So I'll do that. Put the small bit on. Okay guys, so now that one there's been hollowed out, plus the sides have been cut into them. We've done some good grooves in there. It's hard to see because there's no real contrast because it's all white. But there's some good grooves in there. I'll do a close-up later. But for now, let's put some more little grooves in with the Ozito. If you don't have a lot of money, these Ozitos work great and they're only $40 odd and they do the job just fine. So let's put some detail in. You won't get ultra detail because it's wet wood, but we'll see how we go. Okay guys, let's create a little bit of detail in the wood. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up now, but we'll do a proper close-up later. Okay. I hope you guys can see there's a little bit of detail in that wood now. Like I say, it's a bit wet, so it's hard to get proper detail, but that's how it is for now. And yeah, in time it'll weather, the detail will set, and if we want we can go back and put more detail later when it's all hardened. So for now that's it. Let's get on to the next one. So next one is this oak. You can see in there where it's been cut and it's been left because I basically forgot that I did a flat cut in there and I have never got to it. So I'm just going to do a hollow there. That one's going to be a pretty simple hollow. Nothing major, so let's get in there and do that. Gonna be a hard one to film, but let's see how we go. Okay guys, I think I've got a spot where you guys might be able to see me do the carving. Now I just got to try and get in there, that's all. I should have got the carving bit ready earlier. Would have been a bit slack, and I just literally started the video and realised I got the wrong bit in. So we're going to go back to the other bit that I had earlier, the one from Bonsai Sensation. So let's do that one. Right, tight, and we're literally going to create just a hollow in here. I'm going to try and do it as best I can. It's going to be hard for me to get in here. Got leaves and stuff in the way, but we'll see how we go. Right, ready? Let's go. Let's go. Okay guys, well, that one's pretty buried in there anyway. So we're never going to be able to actually really see it, but at least if someone has a good look in there, they can see it. So there you go. There's that one from the front, looks like that. I've dug up underneath here a little bit into the main leader. And I also accidentally nicked that branch there, but that's alright. I just got halfway through it, not quite all the way through, so she should be fine. Be pity if I did cut it right through. So there's the hollow. Probably gonna, well, who knows, maybe leave that one just plain and let it naturally go. So that was going to be the natural one. So I told you I'll do 3 methods. That one's going to be the natural one. We'll let it naturally decay over time. This one here, we're going to use the glue method. And then the other one, in a minute, we're going to use the stain method. Okay guys, let's get back a bit. Let's get to it. Okay guys, super glue method, let's do that. Just pour some, simply just put some super glue on the wood. And it hardens the wood and cures it. This here comes from Harry Harrington. It's his method, not mine. Wow, 1 tube was probably enough. I've got another one here, but I don't think I need it. I will use it anyway. Wow. So this here, some people say buy in bulk, but you can't buy it in bulk where I am, unless you get it on the net. And these tubes are actually very inexpensive anyway. They're actually 50 cents each Australian. So pretty happy with that. So I'm just going to chuck it on like that. That's it, done. So that's the super glue method. Then that's going to obviously sit there and cure. It does get slightly shiny, yes, but that's just bad luck. So you can see I let it run down the trunk a bit, but it's not going to hurt the plant at all. So the top's cured. I'll give you a close-up of that later. The next one is this one, and obviously the last method, because the other one we're going to let go natural. So let's do this one now. Okay guys, well I reckon the kids have been raiding me paintbrushes, so I'm going to have to use a rag, and I'm going to paint this charcoal stain in there. Now I guess it's fair enough because I actually stole the paintbrushes from the kids to start with. So I'm actually just going to do it with a rag, put it on. If it goes elsewhere, it's not going to really matter. But it's, you know, normally I would use a brush, it's less messy. But we're going to just get it done with this today for the sake of the video, because I couldn't find a brush. We're going to put some deep down in that hole. Going to get it all over my fingers, that's alright. Not going to hurt me. It's only water based anyway, this stuff. It's a water based wood stain. So this is another way of dealing with it. It sort of also cures the wood too. It's actually a form that sort of soaks in, so it's a form of curing the wood also. And remember too, the sides of this one are going to roll in over time, and all you really want is a deep dark hole that you can't see the bottom of. And the darker you make it, the more believable it will be, and you won't be able to see the bottom of it. So the better it will look in the end. Okay, so we're getting there. A little bit hard to apply with a rag, but we're getting there. Okay. Don't really want any white left down there. Want it all black. Alright, well, there's still a bit I can't get to. Might soak it. Really need a brush for this, but we're getting there. I'll soak it and I'll just shove it in there and see what happens. Beauty. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Pretty happy with that. It's all covered. I'll just wipe it off the branches here. Don't really need it on the branches. And now remember, these sides here are going to callus in. And it's going to create a nice calloused in look with a deep hollow. Also, I did promise you I would look at another tree. So I'll go and get that tree. First, I'll just show you a close-up of the ones that we've done. And then to finish off the video, I'll show you a close-up of what the final outcome will be in a few years' time when it rolls in. On a tree that I did the same method to. And that's pretty well it. So let's have a couple of close-ups. So here's a close-up of the hollowed out style carving. So one of the two methods I showed you. So that's hollowed out. And now that'll be allowed to callus over, roll in. And that's got the method of the wood stain to darken it. So that hole's nice and dark and believable. Second method was also the second method of deadwood. Actually making a bit of a feature out of it. Leaving some of the wood there rather than just making a hollow. And making it look like a dead part of the tree snapped off. And I treated that one with super glue. So I probably could leave that one just to weather as well. Probably be okay. But I'm not sure. Hawthorne wood is fairly hard, so probably be alright. But anyway, that's just to show you a method anyway. This one other method. And here we got this beautiful Turkish oak. It's really coming along nice, this tree. I love this tree. And in here, create a hollow, and we're just going to let it naturally curl in and naturally darken back up the deadwood, which it will, because deadwood on these oaks does darken up. But anyway, while we're having a look, let's have a look at this beautiful tree. And that's even the back, is it? Believe it or not. Okay, so that is actually the back of the tree. Front of the tree. It's over here. So you can see up here, the trunk, up into the canopy. Just a beautiful tree. Okay, right, let's go and get the one that I did a couple of years ago and just show you what it's like when it starts curling in. When the callus starts to curl over the top of the deadwood and it becomes more natural and believable. Okay guys, let's just move that one back. Carefully put that one there. Right, so here we've got an almond tree. Move it to the front. Jesus. Didn't think it was so wide. No, that was the front, I think. Okay, so that was the front. So, this almond tree here. Which I collected from my parents' place. You can see, look at all these new buds coming. Look at that. going to be pretty cool. It's going to be in flower very, very soon. Buds everywhere. Probably a couple hundred buds on such a small tree. Pretty cool. But anyway, here's the deadwood where I hollowed it out a long while ago, good few years ago. And you can see how all this callus has rolled around the hole and just created a believable, you know, repair wound. Still there to tell a story of what happened to the tree, which is what we want. We don't want to completely eradicate these holes. We want them to be there forever to tell a story. So that's it. 2 different ways of dealing with it, with a flat cut, and 3 different ways of sealing her off. Okay guys, cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your mates about the channel. I've got to get inside and have tea, so I better hurry up. And thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.